place set for the Nevada Taxicab Authority regular meeting. I would like to ask Member Graff to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let the record reflect that present in the Las Vegas office are members Decker and Graff and myself, Vice Chairman Soderberg. Do we have Commissioner Weekly online? Or Member Weekly? I'll call him Commissioner Weekly. I know he's retired, but we don't have him online. Okay, well, we do have quorum, 3 out of 5. Our new member, Member Vasquez, has been excused today. He may join us online, but we're not sure. Okay. Open meeting law, how are we doing with that? We got the open meeting law, we got quorum, we can do this. Okay. The next item is public comment. Members of the public must identify themselves for the record and are then invited to use 3 minutes to comment on the items on the board's agenda or on items not contained therein. Comments shall be directed to the board and presented in a professional manner, and the board may limit repetitive comments. Pursuant to NRS 203.090, any person disturbing the meeting will be asked to not speak. Of course, the board may not act on any of such comments as they're not, but they may be put on a future agenda based on the board's feeling on those comments. So, having said that, are there any members of the public present in Las Vegas who would like to address the board? Crickets. Okay. Are there any members of the public online who would like to address the board? There are none. Okay. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the March 19, 2025 board meeting minutes. Are there any comments or changes from the board based on that?
No.
Hearing none. Then I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The next item on the agenda is industry discussion. Members of the industry may present comments, questions, and concerns regarding ongoing discussions on proposed regulation changes and/or industry-related matters. Are there any members of the industry present in the Las Vegas hearing room that would wish to address the board? Are there any members of the industry online who would like to address the board? Okay. The next item is report by the administrator, read the status of appointment of a hearing officer and other matters on the amended application of Desert Cab to adjust taxicab charges. Ms. Webb, where are we at? Or did you have something that, I'm sorry, Todd.
If you want to go with her, that's fine with me.
You were just going to do that? Okay. Eliminate the middleman?
Yeah, I'll take care of it.
Okay.
So we received the amended application a couple of weeks after the February board meeting. We publicly noticed it after the amended filing and reopened the intervention period at that time. Prepared an order that referenced the deadline to oppose the interventions was April 7th. The intervention opposition deadline was last week, and I entered an order approving the interventions instead, setting the pre-hearing conference for next week. So that's the update where we're at right now.
Okay. And there's nothing to report beyond that. We have an amended application. We have a pre-hearing conference.
Right.
Things are moving.
Things are moving.
Okay. Were there any parties to that case that would like to add anything to that report? Everyone's shaking no. Okay. The next item on the agenda is a continued fiscal discussion of the Taxicab Authority and the upcoming biennium budget. Administrator Park?
I'm in a bit of a peculiar place, being the administrator in my budget, but it's actually the industry that's working with the legislative process to try to help us in our budget situations. So I would defer to Ms. Rushton from the LOA.
Ms. Rushton.
Good morning, Vice Chair, members of the board, administrator. For the record, I'm Kimberly Maxon Rushton with the law firm Cooper Levinson, appearing on behalf of the Livery Operators Association. Following last month's discussion regarding the budget, the LOA owner taxi members met and discussed what we could do to assist the TA with their budget deficit. Specifically looking at the budget and where the cuts are coming from, it seems like the most immediate need is to assist with an enhancement of the budget, specifically requesting that the TA not lose 3 enforcement positions, and then offering to supplement the budget in any way that the legislature deems necessary to ensure that its autonomy and ongoing fiscal solvency. So in doing that, what we did is we prepared 2 letters specifically for the Assembly and Senate Revenue Committees, advising them of the fact that the LOA members had a concern about the budget, especially losing those 3 positions, the need for additional positions, and offering to either do an amendment to 706.8826, which is the budget specific or the statute specific to the meter rate, or proposing alternatively that the legislature consider diverting a part of the excise tax, the passenger excise tax that's imposed specifically on the taxis, to the TA budget in order to have an ongoing, consistent stream of funds. It's done in other agencies such as the Cannabis Board, where $5 million comes off of the excise tax and specifically funds the Cannabis Board. So there's a model in place. The money, as it was originally proposed, has met the legislative intent. And for those reasons, I think that it's a viable discussion for the Budget Committee to have about possibly redirecting a portion of those funds. So those letters were disseminated yesterday to the, like I said, the revenue committees. The LOA's lobbyists are working specifically with the committee members. I was told yesterday that the budget committee chairs have the authority to amend a statute specifically to meet the needs of the budget. So if they do need to go in and amend 706.8826, those committees have that authority. So we'll continue to work and hope that we don't have further cuts at the TA that would otherwise negatively impact the industry and, most importantly, the safety of our traveling public. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the board on this matter?
I have a question to either of you. If you know, do you anticipate being scheduled for another budget hearing, or do you anticipate a budget closing where they've already worked out the?
We do have a budget closing date at the end of April.
Okay.
So the intent, Member Decker, is to work during this period before, obviously, that budget closes to talk about the enhancements and then any other deficits, and then how that specifically relates to the increase in the meter rate.
Who are the Senate and the Assembly Revenue Committee chair people?
Shay Bacchus on the Assembly side and Dina Neal on the Senate side.
What about the budget committee chairs? Who are they?
That's who they are.
Oh, the same ones.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I have no questions. Thank you, Mr. Todd, you're up again. Staff report.
Okay. First off, it's noticeable that our former chair is no longer here. His time expired, and I just want to publicly thank him for all of the mentorship that he gave me, being a new administrator when I came in, and he was very informative and very good to me. And I wish him the very best. I appreciate the vice chair. Are you now the chair? I guess. Are you still?
I'm still the vice chair. So
Okay.
when there's no chair.
Okay.
We should probably put a vote on the next agenda, though.
What's that?
Sorry. We should probably put an official vote on the next agenda.
It is my understanding that the governor selects the chair, and the board has been in error when it decides it's going to choose the chair.
I know that that topic has been discussed, and I know that the former chair had asked us to take a look at what the process would be for the board to pick a chair, and I don't know that we've gotten that far yet.
In our draft of the regs.
Pardon me?
We're putting a rule on the draft of the regs today.
Okay. Okay.
So that's a proposed fix, but do we know what the current method is? What's the proposed fix?
That the board
That the board would vote on it? Okay.
votes on it. And other than that, I think it's been fine the way you've been working it out. We're missing a lot of practice laws with our MACs.
We're working on those. We have obviously a workshop after today to work on some of that.
Okay.
So are we proposing that we wait until the reg is approved before we pick a chair?
We should wait until the 20th.
It needs to be agendized.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I don't think it's on the agenda.
Okay.
Right.
And my 2 cents, my time in Nevada administrative law, I've always seen pitfalls when the board picks its own chair. And we've dealt with that on some subcommittees on another board I am chair of, which was by the bylaws, clear, designated by the governor. So if I am on the board at the time that this reg comes up, I might personally not be in favor of it because you never know what's going to go on. But I believe people elect governors of this state, and the governor gets to choose who's running their boards. That's just my personal belief, and we'll see how it goes. Although it's probably a lot easier because governors' offices are busy, and sometimes they neglect to check a box or what happened. But that's my 2 cents on that. That it may be expedient, but you never know in the long term down the road if you cause problems or not.
Well, and it's something that we can discuss during the workshop this afternoon when we have our workshop, because that is one of the regs that we want to talk about. So anyway, getting back to my point, I just wanted to publicly thank Mr. Reeder for his time and efforts on the board. So I'm very proud to announce that Curtis Mell has finished the leadership program through the state. It's not a small task. You have to go through 19 different classes, and he got a certificate this last week. So I'm very happy to see him go through that leadership class. I've currently got one other person, Corazon, is also in the program now, so she's working her way through the class as well. But it's a very good program, and it will do nothing but help the agency. So thank you for Curtis taking the time to get through that. Staffing, we have one position that's open right now. It's in our driver permitting. It's an AA2 position. That position is currently on hold because of our budget. We have to wait and see how things pan out before we can try to fill that position. But other than that, everything's full with the exception of the 3 enforcement positions that I'll lose on July 1st, but I don't have bodies in those positions, in those PCNs. So if I do end up losing those, I won't be having to lay anybody off. So that's good. A couple weeks ago, I approved a pilot program that I think is going to really help our industry. And without getting too much into details, I will tell you that another company has also approached me about another pilot program, and they're very similar in nature. But it will allow people to go onto the Uber app and request a ride, and there will be a picture of a taxi there, and they can choose getting a taxi from the Uber app. And a lot of details that have been worked out, but like I said, I've approved the one program already, and I'm waiting for the proposal from another company. And I've already met with them, and they plan on getting me the proposal soon. So I wanted to update you guys on the pilot program because I think it's really going to help our industry a bunch. So that's always been one of the problems is people weren't able to go onto apps that were as well known as Uber or Lyft and get a ride. So hopefully that's going to help us a lot. Before I move into statistics, does anybody have any questions about anything I've brought up so far?
Mr. Chair?
Okay.
Hello?
Right. So last month was a little bit better than February. February was a rough month for us. The revenue, I think with the gas price surcharge being off right now, I think that's why you see the difference in the revenue between 24 and 25. The lease revenue, it's going to be the same issue because of the gas surcharge, I think, for the most part. The monthly combined trip comparison, last year's February, obviously we had the Super Bowl, but again, our March number was much better than it was in February, so I was happy to see that. The year-to-date comparison, it just kind of puts everything that we just talked about all onto one page. If there's something in there that you want me to talk about, but it's, you know, the surcharge, the gas tax, and then the Super Bowl were I think the main comparisons from last year to this year.
May I interrupt you just for a second while we're on this topic? I think I understand what you're saying. But when we looked at the February to February numbers, it was pointed out to it this February 2024 had the Super Bowl and something else. So now in March, are we just kind of in normal March versus comparing normal March?
We are.
Okay.
Yeah, we're getting back. We had March Madness, but I didn't see a huge bump for March Madness. The next big event that we have coming up is EDC, and obviously the surcharge will kick in for EDC, and that's coming up in May.
But with both of those, we'd be comparing apples and apples.
We should
Look at those numbers.
Yes.
So we can feel good that we had a little bit of an increase on what otherwise would have been a normal March in both years.
Correct.
Thank you.
Yeah. Our medallions are still at 35.30. Lease decal, we've had an increase. YCS had increased some leases. You'll see that in the amount of cabs that are on the road now. Our agency statistics, citations were about what they were in February. You can see a huge difference between March of last year and this March. That was staffing. There were, I believe it was, we were down quite a bit in enforcement last March. The total number of violations written, which includes the 3 impounds that we got, was 80, and no long hauls. We had no long hauls this last month. But we resolved 102 violations, which I think is phenomenal. I think that's great. Moving over to our accidents were up a little bit. I don't know the reason why. We had, we had more rides, but there's 3 extra days in March than there was in February. I don't know if that really correlates to the jump in accidents or not, but yeah, we had 280 accidents last month. The dispatch events were also up. We had 926 compared to February where we had 813 events. And I think with that, I wanted to bring up the monthly vehicle report. The cabs in service. We're up to 3,107 cabs in service, and I love seeing the amount of cabs going up. And I think we're trending in the right direction with that. So with that, if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer what I can.
Are there any questions from the board of the administrator?
Hello, Mr. Vice Chair?
Getting off easy.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is the second public comment section. Are there any members of the public who would like to address the board here in Las Vegas? Are there any members of the public who would like to address the board online? Okay. And with that, I would enter,
Hold on,
pardon me?
Yes.
Hello?
And like it was a little can.
Yeah.
Chris
Chris Anderson.
Chris Anderson, I believe. Yes, Chris Anderson.
Can you hear me?
He has
I guess the mic's not working.
and Mr. Weekly. They're online. They wanted to a comment.
Okay.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Mr. Anderson, I don't see him up there. Mr. Anderson, are you online and wanted to address the board?
Can you hear me?
I guess.
I'm hearing nothing. Member Weekly, would you like to address the board?
Hello? Can you hear me?
And let the record reflect that Member Weekly has joined us. I didn't see that earlier. My apologies.
Hello?
It looked like he wants to say something about the volume.
Hello? 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 Hello?
Yeah, we can turn it up.
Barely hear him.
That's
Yeah, I don't think the mics are working on this end. No worries. Hello? Marie, just tell them next time.
Mr. Weekly.
He muted
Yes.
himself.
Yes.
No, I
Yes.
can barely. You guys hear him? Just barely.
I can't hear.
That's okay. Move on. I'll talk next time.
That one's still going.
Hello?
You know, up to this point, I was going to beat my record for a full hearing. Over 30 years of doing this with the assistance of Dutch Brothers, but this is going to blow that record.
Gosh, what's the input?
He's up.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
You see? What I know.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing.
One?
Testing. 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 No?
Let
Okay.
me see on something.
I'm gone.
Curtis, do you want me to go see if Erica's in?
I just text her.
Okay.
Sure. How did I do that before?
You know, that screen has the names of people online on the right side. Are they on?
Okay, so you say it's okay. Weekly left the board meeting. So Mr. Weekly left the board meeting.
Do you want to do one last call on online and then?
Member Weekly, I don't know if you can hear us. You are on mute on your end.
He left.
I understand you wanted to address the board.
He left the meeting.
He left the meeting.
Yes.
Well, okay then.
Still can go for that record. I did it.
I was trying to put the volume up on this one. I didn't know where's the volume. Okay.
Yes. Oh, okay. Should have got it.
We have.
I'd be fine.
The volume is
Okay.
controlled, 100%, but somebody online wouldn't be able to.
It should be that.
Right?
Barely hear a little bit, yeah, in the room. And I put this, and that's the one that's pushing the volume up. It should affect the phone call. Yes.
A lot, but I could be upside.
Starbucks?
Yeah.
I don't think we need too many.
Yeah, we could-
We only have an hour.
yeah. See, they say they.
Are we technically online and
We're technically having a meeting right now. Hey, if you want to do like one last call on, can they hear us?
Yeah, they can hear us out.
Yeah, if you want to do one last call to see if anyone else has public comment, then you can close if you want.
okay, well, I'll do that then. We are online and the meeting is going. We'll take one last call for members of the public who are online to address the board.
Nobody now.
And
Nobody.
hearing none, next item on it is adjournment. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
On the vote, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you. Yes, we have a workshop at 11. All right, a little bit before, I'd like to get the board together. What's going on? What the board schedule. So it's not a vote.
Yes.
Lawrence coming?
Huh?
Lawrence coming? Yeah.
That's what I'm told, that he's at something else and he's gonna get in his car and rush over here to